This program only reflects the personal views of the program host and all the individual contributors.
This is Newsline. I am Michael Chigani. You saw her 3 nights ago on primetime TV taking on Donald Jung. Tonight she's right in the studio with me, Audrey Yu. Welcome, Audrey Yu, to the show. You're the leader of the Civic Party. I hope you're not going to demolish me in the same way that you demolished Donald Jung a few days ago on primetime television. Now, polls say that you won Thursday's debate hands down. I called up a few people and I asked them who won. Right after the debate, I said, who won that debate? And they all say, Audrey Yu, hands down. Do you agree?
Well, I wasn't hoping to win a debate. I was hoping that the government was going to give us a roadmap. And
a roadmap to democracy.
to universal suffrage, yeah.
And you didn't get that?
Well, we're still working on it.
Well, Donald Jung said, well, there is a roadmap. Obviously, there's a disagreement as to whether that is a real roadmap.
Well, all he said, if you listen to what he's, you can play back, what he said. All he said was, I've given you the 2012 package, and that's the roadmap. I mean, that's what he said, which of course is not true.
Sure.
I mean, if you look at the NPC timetable, I mean, if you follow that, you should have universal suffrage of the chief executive by 2017. And that means really 2 steps, 2012 and 2017. For LegCo, it's really 3 steps, 2012, 2016, and 2020. Now, every step, you have to make it count. I mean, you can't say, well, let's just move around and take 1 step, and that's, discharging his duty.
It's the way you're now talking, Audrey, which I think convinced a lot of viewers that night, because you came across as genuine, and you sound that now, because you're passionate about the issue. But when you went into the debate, how nervous were you?
Well, actually, I had felt extremely nervous for really almost all the time.
The night before, did you sleep?
No. It wasn't the night before. Actually, all along, after I received his invitation to this debate, I was very worried about it, because I know people had a lot of expectations. I see people in the streets and they say, hey, go and do whatever.
Suck it to him.
Yeah, well, can't say these words on TV. So people had a lot of expectations, and also the situation was developing every day, because if you look at the political news, every day was a new chapter, and it's extremely unsettling. So it's actually very, very difficult to prepare for the debate. And I had preparation with my colleague who is Kenneth Chan.
I know, he's been on the show here before, right?
And he was an extremely difficult Donald Jung. Because
so you had like rehearsals, like a rehearsal
I had
debate.
rehearsals with Kenneth, our Secretary General, and he was extremely good. I mean, I lost every time to him, and so it made me extremely nervous. And so I was nervous all the way through, actually, until really 2 days before.
It didn't show.
Until 2 days before. And I realized that, I had to calm down, and the only way to do it was really to feel calm. And actually, I was completely calm throughout the entire debate.
Well, I watched the whole thing, and you were, and I thought that Donald Jung was not calm. He was reading off his script, which, I have said before, and I've written in columns, that it was a bad idea for him to do this debate, because after the by-election, which you and your party colleagues had pushed for, that election drew a very small number of voters. And at that point, Donald Jung had the upper hand, and I couldn't for the life of me understand why he would want to debate you. Why do you think he did that?
Actually, it's quite obvious, because the by-election took place on the 16th of May, and I got the invitation to this debate 4 days after the by-election. So he thought that it was a chance to really marginalize the Civic Party. And if you listen again to his debate, you can see that throughout he was trying to paint me as a radical, and he was saying, you know, you
That's why he chose
radical.
to debate you and not the leader of the Democratic Party.
That's right. He wanted to paint me into a corner, and he wanted to explain to Hong Kong people that he was being very reasonable, and here was this Audrey Yu who was, you know, being obstinate and abstruse and really standing in the way of reform and moving forward. And so throughout his debate, he was pushing for words radical. And everything, when people sort of opposed him in the streets, when he went out to do his Act Now campaign, there were people who were opposed to him. And he said, you and your colleagues, which of course was entirely untrue. And you remember he started by saying Michael de Goya, which is a Civic Party member, and of course he got that all wrong. Michael
de Goya is not a Civic Party
We
member.
have lots of academics in our Civic Party, but it doesn't mean that all academics belong